Good morning, everyone. I hope your day is going well and I hope you're doing great. If not, I hope this podcast makes it better for you. So, today we're learning about the Kakapo. It is the chunky parrot that can live almost 100 years. So this is a flightless nocturnal parrot that is only found in New Zealand. So if a species of bird or animal or even insect is found in only one place or two places, they are called endemic species. This parrot has a lot of unique traits that we're going to be learning about. But before we go into the episode, we are going to do some breathing exercises to relax our minds. So if you're ready, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Last time here, breathe in and breathe out. Thank you so much for doing that with me, guys. I hope that these breathing exercises are helping you relax and helping you focus. So if you're listening to this podcast in the morning, good morning again. Or if you're listening in any part of the day, I hope your day is going well. So when I came upon this very interesting article about the Kakapo, I was really baffled that there was a parrot that was nocturnal. Not only that, they can't fly as well, but they can walk long distances and they are also excellent climbers. Every bird has a lifespan of about sometimes 15 to 20 years or sometimes more than that, but usually it doesn't cross over 50 years, but I've never seen a bird that lives to 100 years. So the appearance of the Kakapo is very funny looking for me, but to describe them, they have round heads and bodies, and they also have owl-like faces and sturdy legs. They are the biggest of all modern parrots, and the males can measure up to 25 inches or 64 centimeters long. So they weigh up to 4 kilograms, which is like 9 pounds. And they're also not that long, so they look like stout little birds. Due to their weight, they can't really fly. They live off the coast of New Zealand, and as of now, they're only found in these islands. They're found on the Codfish, Maud, and Little Barrier Islands, because we'll see why they are becoming extinct, guys. They're very endangered. They're very rare right now, but people are trying to kind of capture them and trying to raise them in the wild. They also don't really breed very often. Only like 4 years once or so they mate and breed. So their endangerment is actually pretty serious, but people are helping them. So coming to the name Kakapo, it means night parrot in the Maori language. It is a reference to the bird's nocturnal habits. Though Kakapo cannot fly, they can walk for long distances. So since these birds are nocturnal, the Maori people that came to New Zealand, they named this bird the Kakapo, which means night parrot. So the arrival of the Maori people actually was not a very great thing, because they kind of hunted this bird, and once the bird was very abundant in New Zealand, and after they came, it kind of became endangered. So one reason people like to hunt this bird is because they are very easy to find. They can't fly, or the only defense they have is camouflage and maybe their beaks, but they don't have flight, as to say. So they can't really fly away from danger, and that's one reason that it's very easy to hunt. So they eat vegetarian diet, so they eat fruits, seeds, leaf buds, young plant shoots, fungi, and moss. So these birds really aren't a harm for the environment at all. So I think kind of hunting them is not a great option there. So when these kakapo sense danger, this is a very cool fact here, they kind of freeze in place, and their mottled emerald green plumage renders the bird nearly invisible against the leafy forest backdrop. So the camouflage here, as I was talking about, is kind of a defense mechanism. Whenever they're in fear, they become almost invisible against the forest backdrop there. That is really cool. And the feathers of the male kakapo have a distinctive odor that scientists have described as sweet and vegetative. And this powerful scent may play a role in males' mating success. So it looks like they also secrete this kind of odor, which makes it easier for predators to kind of recognize them. So that's also one of the disadvantages they kind of have there. But in terms of mating, for males, it is an advantage. So mating in kakapo is also very unique, as they are the only parrot species to exhibit a behavior called lekking. So the males kind of stage all sorts of dances, and they're very competitive on that. And sometimes they make a stage, and so to make that stage, they shape a shallow bowl shaped depression in the ground. So they kind of dig out this bowl shaped depression, and they crouch in their bowl and call for females using two different sounds, which is really cool to see here. So they use a series of low frequency booms that sound like a tuba, and then they follow it by a high pitched ching. So these males kind of sing here, and they kind of boom and sing for 8 hours at a stretch, continuing nightly for 2 or 3 months. Wow, they are very dedicated to attract a female, guys. It's very nice to see how much of their energy they kind of put in there. And they continue all night as well. So these male kakapos are amazing birds. So if the female kind of ignores the male or doesn't recognize him, the males don't keep up with that behavior, and they kind of move on to another female. These birds are also polygynous, so that means they don't form pairs. They only males and females just meet only to mate, and then they kind of switch partners very quickly. So these birds breed once every 2 to 4 years, only when the local rimu trees produce an abundant crop of berries. So these fruits are rich in calcium and vitamin D. So only when these fruits kind of, or trees kind of produce these berries, the birds can breed, because these berries are vital for nourishing their chicks, and they don't really have any other sort of fruits that they can feed for their chicks. I believe that's why they kind of choose when they breed. So the kakapo thrived for tens of millions of years across New Zealand, where they had no natural predators. But the arrival of the Polynesian people around 700 years ago made the bird numbers drop. So their decline accelerated when Europeans colonized New Zealand in the early 1800s. So back in the 1800s, when people started hunting the kakapo, their numbers began to drop. Also, deforestation and the introduction of mammalian predators such as rats, cats, and stoats brought kakapo to the brink of extinction. So by the 1900s, they had all but vanished. So right now they're very, very rare. But in 1970s, after about 70 years, the conservationists discovered a breeding population of about 200 birds. So for decades, they worked to protect kakapo and secure their future. So they moved them to the 3 islands where they live today, and where all invasive carnivores have since been eradicated. So currently there are about 242 kakapo in the wild, but they're still recognized as critically endangered with a high risk of extinction. So it's really good that these conservationists kind of discovered these birds. Even when they discovered them, they were only about 200 birds, and for decades, for a long period of time, they worked to protect the kakapo and to secure their future. So as of now, they live in 3 islands, and that's because of these conservationists. But I really would like to see more people kind of try to save this bird. But it is very hard for the kakapo population to kind of increase, because they don't breed like every year. They only breed when the berries kind of sprout. So the nests of these birds are actually on the ground, so under the cover of plants or in cavities such as hollow tree trunks, which is really fascinating to see, because it doesn't really produce a lot of protection, but cavities such as hollow tree trunks might be a good option compared to on the ground. So the female incubates the eggs faithfully, but she is forced to leave them every night in search of food. So these animals or these birds do have to get their own food, and then they have to feed the chicks. So it's very hard for them to kind of always protect the eggs. So the eggs usually hatch within 30 days, bearing fluffy gray chicks that are quite helpless. So after the eggs hatch, the female feeds the chicks for 3 months, and the chicks remain with the female for some months after fledging. So for about 3 months, these chicks kind of depend on their mother, and the mother feeds them with the berries. As we know, the berries give the chicks proper nourishment. I believe they have vitamin C and D. That's what I read there. I'm not sure. Let me go back. So yeah, they actually have calcium and vitamin D. Female kakapos usually reach reproductive maturity at 9 years of age. And the chicks leave their nest at approximately 10 to 12 weeks of age. So for about I think 3 months, these chicks are fed, but then they leave their nests after 3 months. So some really fun facts about the kakapo are so they have these large scaly feet, and these kakapo, as well as all other parrots, are zygodactyl. So that's a new term there. It's spelled ZYGODACTYL. Godactyl. So it means 2 toes face forward and the 2 other toes face backward. Their claws are also pronounced, which is particularly useful for climbing. So these birds are excellent climbers, and they use their claws to kind of hold on to branches and kind of climb really strongly with a really strong grip. They also have a well-developed sense of smell, which complements their nocturnal lifestyle, so they can distinguish between odors while foraging, and it does indeed have a more developed sense of smell than other parrots. So since they kind of are really active during the night, they have to have a heightened sense of some sort to kind of forage and evade predators. So they have this really well developed sense of smell for that. So these kakapos have a lot of nice unique adaptations, such as camouflage, their distinct musky sweet odor, and also their sense of smell. So these birds, even though they're flightless, they're still very unique in their own way. So a few other facts here. When foraging, kakapos tend to leave crescent-shaped wads of fiber in the vegetation behind them. So they kind of leave these browse signs when they forage, and they're crescent-shaped. So that's very fascinating there. So this also makes it easier for predators to kind of find them. So I don't think the kakapo are really great at evading predators, except for their camouflage, but they do have other abilities. So kakapo chicks are very playful. They like to play fighting. They like to play fight, in which one bird will often lock the neck of another under its chin, which is very fascinating to see here. So they're not only very funny looking, they're also very playful. These chicks are really cute to look at. I don't think they're that heavy when they're born, but as they grow up, they do get heavier. So like many other parrots, kakapos have a variety of calls. They, as we saw, the males kind of do the booms and chings during mating, but they will also often loudly skark. So it's like a very loud kind of sound or call there. I don't know as to why they do that, but it's very fascinating. So that's actually it for this episode, guys. I hope that you enjoyed learning about the 100-year-old bird kakapo, and I hope that you come back to listen to more episodes. Thank you, and see you in the next episode, guys. I hope that this helped you relax and helped make your day better. I really enjoy doing these episodes, especially early in the morning, where when the sun kind of rises. So thank you for listening, everyone, and see you in the next episode. Bye.